obviously very disappointed, with the results of the game. Really came here to be 1-0. That's our whole mantra. That's what we do. We did not attain that goal today. I saw a lot of good things, though. There's obviously a lot to clean up. We couldn't finish drives, had mistakes in all three phases. At times, just had too many penalties. I think we were not a disciplined team today. We can do better there. We can coach better and play better there. In the second half, obviously, really through three quarters, defense held us in there some, and then offensively, we got it going in the fourth quarter. Did a lot of good things, and I am proud of that. I am proud of the way we fought back. Talking to the guys on the sideline, felt it from the defense. Felt the defense talking to me. Just felt good about that. Offensively, felt good talking to the guys. Felt good about what we could do, and we got ourselves back in it. Gave ourselves a chance at the end, and we didn't convert. It's not any one play. There's obviously a lot of plays in the game, so we're not pointing to the missed field goal, in overtime. There were plenty of mistakes throughout that game where we could have sealed it, and we didn't. But I am proud of how the defense stepped up there at the end and got the stop when we needed it to at least walk away with a tie.
Frank, you guys changed up a ton of things. The training camp, the time of practices, and you played your starters more than preseason, all with an idea of being ready for week one. For the most part in the first half, you guys were sloppy. And can you put your finger on why? Why you guys weren't ready?
Well, I would say this. I have to look at the film, but it felt to me on offense like we moved the ball up and down the field. That didn't feel sloppy to me. What felt sloppy was not being able to finish drives. So I agree with you there. We can't, we got to be able to finish drives, but, we had 200, we had 200 yards of offense in the first half. That's doing something right. But, that's not what wins games. But if I'm evaluating and saying, where it's not characterized in my mind by sloppiness throughout. It's a mistake here, a mistake there, which is sloppy. So I'm not backing away from that comment, Zach. That's a fair comment. But there was a lot of good. But we got to finish drives. We got to finish drives and be better.
But with the inability to finish drives was a result of mistakes. So would you not agree?
Yeah,
there were quite a few.
100%.
You threw a ton of balls into the end zone, right? That just they just didn't get completed.
No, there were. I wouldn't say a ton of mistakes. There were mistakes that stopped drives. There were mistakes that stopped drives that aren't good enough. So ultimately, that's a reflection on me. That's a reflection on me, and I take ownership of that. So I'm not backing down from the comment. Obviously, we had 3 points through three quarters. There's nothing to be happy about that offensively. But I'm also, where it's the first game, and I'm looking at. I know the guys we got, and I'm not backing down from who we have. We'll get that cleaned up. It's a 60-minute game. We got it back. We did a lot of good things. It wasn't good enough to go 1-0. That's ultimately all that matters. That's our goal, to go 1-0. We didn't reach that goal. So anytime there's penalties and mistakes, that's a reflection. That starts with me.
Frank, you guys had a 42-yarder to win it, and Rod missed. It's not the first time a kicker has missed with a chance to win a game. Is he your kicker moving forward, or is that something you need to evaluate?
I can't even begin to think about. In my mind, he's our kicker. You know what I mean? In my mind, he's our kicker. So we go back and everybody gets evaluated. We all, coaches, players, we all get evaluated. So if I've learned one thing over the years, is don't rush into those kinds of decisions. Those are the decisions that Chris and I get a chance to talk about, and everybody gets evaluated. But, Rod's done a lot of good things for us.
How comfortable should you be on a 42-yard kick, and did you see anything in the operation that led to the miss?
No, I didn't see anything in the operation that led to the miss. It's not a slant. You're feeling you're in the 80 percentile. We called a play on third down. We had been running the ball pretty well, so we called a play on third down that, try to get Matt out in the open. We hit that same naked earlier to Pitt for a good game, so I thought maybe they'd play the run and we'd get Matt out there just, said, hey, let's take a short sack, run some time off just in case worst thing happened and we missed. But, obviously had a lot of confidence that we knew we'd have a 42-yarder worst case scenario if we had to take a short sack. Best case scenario, we come out of there on the naked and we get something clean and we go down and score a touchdown. But they played good defense and then we didn't convert.
Frank mishandled the snaps. Matt mishandled the snaps a few times. Do you know what happened there? Or why?
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened. Well, I don't know what happened there. So we'll have to look at that. They'll get that figured out. But that's sloppy play. Back to Zach's earlier comment, 2 fumbled snaps, that's sloppy play.
Frank, the fourth down call, Raheem, was that a zone read, and why did you go with that?
Yeah, it was a play we felt great about coming in. And honestly, this is how it goes sometimes. But, it didn't appear like they lined up on defense correctly, but their defensive end, I give Lovie Smith a lot of credit. They had their defensive end do something that messed with us, okay? He gave us a false indicator, something we had not seen from them, and so that's really a credit to Lovie Smith. They outcoached us and outplayed us on that play. That's a play we've had a lot of success with. We don't run it a ton, a couple times a year, but it's been successful almost every time we've run it. Felt like the time was to go for it. We went down, kicked the first time. Our defense, I think, had 2 3-and-outs. So I thought, hey, worst case, if we don't make it, they're backed up. We still get the 3 points. But obviously that didn't play out the way we wanted it to.
Frank, your offensive line obviously had some very good moments the way JT ran, obviously. But did you feel like maybe you need a little more consistency there? You think you could have afforded more consistency there?
It just felt like early on the protection, I felt like our protection could have been a little bit more consistent early on. But, we knew the strength of this defense was their rush. That's what we were talking about all week long. This team has a good rush. But, I don't know how many sacks we had. Like I said, I just know we ran the ball well. I know we threw it well. And believe me, nobody's worried about yards, but you can't ignore certain production. But when you gain those kind of yards, you just got to score 40 points. You can't walk away with 20 points with that much offense. That's not good. That's not near good enough. And have those mistakes, have a mistake, you can, and that's where sometimes if you don't get the chunk play, that's Lovey's whole thing. Make them go the long haul. Don't give up the big play. They're going to mess it, all it takes is one screw up. That's been his career, and he did a good job today, so congratulations to them.
When you had
a couple more.
At the end of overtime, it felt like a lot of time was going off the clock when the Texans were on offense and you guys were on offense. Is there a thought to be maybe more aggressive to try and win it even as late as it was?
At what part? In overtime?
Yeah, there was like
when we went down, running it. No, it was fair. Like I said, we were running it so well. That's the way we really got back in it. I thought our staff, our players did a good job. We didn't panic in the fourth quarter. Look how many runs we called in the fourth quarter, being down 17 points. Tell me who else calls that many. Tell me who else has that many runs in the fourth quarter when you're down 17 points. Our guys did a great job, and that's because you got JT. And every time you hand it to them, that's one of the things I'm trying to continue to learn, that when you got a player like JT, even though you're down 17, you just learn over the years, hey, you don't have to go exclusively to the pass. So we got that got going, and then in overtime that was going. Wanted to go for the kill, for the jugular, get the touchdown, don't leave it up to a field goal, but got it in position, just didn't convert on third down.
It's just in the final minute, the Texans ran like 15 seconds off the clock on one play, and then you guys got it back and ran it down to just that final snap. What was just the thought process and whether?
Yeah, that's fair. I got to go back and look at that whole thing. Just talking to the guys upstairs, felt like, we wanted to give ourselves a chance at the very end. We didn't take the 10-second runoff just in case we got a turnover or something. They got aggressive and we got a turnover. We figured they had enough time. If they were going to get in field goal range, they had enough time. So, you just kind of play the odds there. And that's what we were doing in that situation, not taking the runoff. And that's a double-edged sword. It's really hard to swallow at the end there. Are we really going to play for it? You're really going to just play for a tie at the end, when we're just throwing it short, throwing 2 screenplays backed up. And that's hard to do. I don't ever remember doing that before. So, we got to go back and I got to evaluate that end of game scenario. Am I comfortable with how it played out, how we called it in all 3 phases?
What did you see from Matt overall? I know you have to see film and stuff, but just from him, first start in the season for the Colts, what did you see from him?
I saw, you saw the poise. Obviously we had some mistakes. He had a couple mistakes early. But he just gets so confident, and I think he helped to keep everybody in it. And then he made a ton of big plays down the end. So he's the leader we need. He did a great job.